time and has now reached levels where all communities in our country beyond the 4 provinces indicated above have become very angry, bitter, and agitated. The pain has gone very deep. The mood expressed in communities all around the country is also reflective of statements that have been made in the House unanimously against these crimes in the short past. Somewhere in the background, the current socio-economic conditions are militating against low crime levels in the country and need to be addressed urgently by this House and also by the executive. The modus operandi of the perpetrators involved in these heinous acts is well known. Most of them are individuals who do not want to work, but rather choose to parade as armies of murderous parasites that must be fought and rejected by society as a whole. They are often armed, operating in groups, and instill fear and chaos. The relative silence of communities and low reporting is all due to these fears. So we offer communities toll-free numbers, we communicate, we talk to them, but there's a lot of fear out there. Police, of course, led by Ministry, are hard at work fighting these crimes on a daily basis. Among recent operations is where suspects identified through intelligence as extortionists were confronted in Milnerton in Cape Town. 4 suspects were fatally wounded in a shootout with police, while 4 were admitted in hospital with wounds, and 2 ran away and escaped. In the Eastern Cape, operations are underway and we're focusing in Mthatha and Nelson Mandela Bay on similar crimes, including illegal occupation of buildings and stock theft, among others. 12 cases have recently been reported on the hotline and investigations are underway. We are observing signs of resistance among criminals, but want to say that police will prevail. They will have to prevail, and we'll make sure that they prevail. We must also mention that we shocking incidents of lowest morality where church services, funerals, and other family-related functions get disrupted by these extortionists. In Gauteng, 3 criminals were arrested in Bronkhorstspruit 3 weeks ago and on activities related to extortions. Soweto is also a place that has received our attention in the incidents of extortion. In Mpumalanga, 3 arrests were made recently in cases of extortion and fighting over turf on the same purpose. In Free State, the target of extortionists include pensioners and people who receive RAF. Generally, there's more extortions going on in the communities than meet the eye. This requires more intelligent operations on our side. And we know we have to strengthen intelligence, we have to improve intelligence, we have to find information on our own in terms of profiling these criminals. Because communities, as I say, they do report, but not enough. In the context of above, the whole government approach, we have initiated signing of cooperative agreements with provincial and local governments with operational plans, all seeking to integrate our resources against crime. Currently, the operational plan is being rolled out here in the Western Cape and Cape Town with its new 6 sub-districts that are going to make it much more easier for us to police these areas, jointly with city police, with private companies, with law enforcement and CPFs. The model will be replicated in all metros in the country. The operational plan will include CPFs and private security companies, as I've indicated. The Eastern Cape and Nelson Mandela have agreed on the operational plan, and it is currently being rolled out, and we will be launching it soon. We're meeting Gauteng on Thursday this week on the same program. Next will be KZN on the 19th and the 20th of this month. All these metros coincide with the concentration of crimes in the country. And this alignment will help us fight much more effectively in an aligned way in terms of resources. We're also holding a series of meetings with with sister departments on collaboration against crime as per National Integrated Crime Prevention Strategy. This Friday, we're meeting as JCPS cluster to tighten up our act and to come up with better synergies. The deadline for us to complete national policing policy is the end of October this year. This will, among other things, deal with police stations, just the definition of a police station, just the norms and standards of a police station, urban or rural. We need that so that we define what a police station is. And it will relate to infrastructure and application of such norms, including where police live in their barracks and all of that. We believe traditional leaders and communities have a role to play, and they will be engaged. And finally, legislation reviews are underway. 1 is SAPS Amendment Bill, 2, SIRA, 3, CSPS Act, 4, Critical Infrastructure Amendment Bill, and 5, overhaul of Criminal Procedure Act by Department of Justice and as police who are participating. And this is important. We have our eye, among other things, on things like parole. We think that quite a large number of criminals get paroles unduly and prematurely in a number of cases, while they still should be sitting in jail. We'll be going through this with the portfolio committee, and we hope that we'll go through this financial year so that we improve the way we deal with criminality in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, House Chairperson. Deputy President, again, the Minister has not paid attention to the gravity of what we are dealing with. The Minister came here and he spoke. Quite frankly, I don't know that the people of South Africa have confidence that the police are going to attack extortionists. There is no comprehensive crime prevention strategy. And until that happens, you're always going to run after the fact. After extortion has happened, you'll be running after people. What is your plan? What did you say today? You're going to work with provinces, you're signing agreements. That has been done before. You're going to work with CPFs and security companies. That has been done before. That's your strategy. You came here to tell us that. Extortionists find themselves and express themselves in 4 aspects. 1, which is a long-standing practice in the clubs. And in the clubs, there is a strong phenomenon of security companies. You're going to work with which security companies? They are involved themselves in telling clubs that they must be employed, or else they're going to have to be attacked in all forms of violence and be ran into the ground. It's very clear here in Cape Town. Very big and strong and violent security companies are the ones that are running the clubs, and on the basis of a proper extortionist network. The construction mafia, the 30%ers, what are you going to do with them? There's nothing that has come out today as to what you're planning to do with the people who are extracting 30% and rendering the state literally dysfunctional at a local level. Cyberbullying. A lot of women are taken videos during sex, and the men threaten, for an example, to expose those videos in order to keep them in relationships or to extort money from them. And there's a lot as well of extortionist tendencies within the cybercrime space. Finally, public institutions, hospitals, schools. We are told that Mercantile Hospital, one of the doctors was told that he must bring 50,000 protection fee or face violence. A male nurse at Tata School for the Blind and Deaf and his family were held at gunpoint on Tuesday. 2 armed men demanding 50% protection fee. Numerous businesses in Umtata, in recent weeks, Sasol Garage on the main road was closed. People are demanding protection fee. In everything that you have said today, I don't know that we are getting confidence. What do the people of South Africans want to hear? 1, they don't want to hear that you don't know these criminals and you are saying the reports are not coming to the police stations. That is dishonest. By the way, you're the only people who don't know these criminals that are extorting communities. Only the police in South Africa are claiming ignorance. Our people know. And the reason the police are claiming ignorance is because the police are embedded. is because correctional services is embedded. There are people who come from prison who are convicted of murder, who are transported outside, commit heinous violent crimes, murder and assassinations, come back into prisons. When you're looking for them and you're reporting them, police say those people have been arrested already. What is your strategy regarding these activities? You do not have. So what did you come here to Parliament to do? PR empty exercise. This government of National Ndondon is not going to succeed if it is obsessed with media. You've got to have a comprehensive, concrete strategy that is based on the lived experience of our people to combat crime. Don't come here for a PR stance. You don't have a strategy yet, and it's katsakosiapel. What must be done? Go and implant counterintelligence capabilities. We know these gangs, our people will tell you. 2, build internal state capacity. Let us do away with tenders. Tenders have crippled the local state. Many of those workers, let's insource them. Let the government build schools directly, build clinics directly. It will halve the crime of extortion in our country. The HODs in Ekurhuleni, in Tshwane, in Johannesburg, withhold payments of contractors. Some of them are crippling black businesses. They must get bribed or they don't get paid. Arrest these administrators. Let us see you raid the administration to disarticulate it from extortion. Finally, please use digital and AI technologies. Implant cops with crime and GPS so that you know where the cops are, who they are talking with, who they are seeing
Honourable
at all
Member,
material times.
your time
that
is
you
now
can speak about the
expired.
crime strategy, not a PR exercise you came here to perform.
Thank you, House Chair. Honorable members, Honorable Deputy President, incoming President, Honorable Minister. I've listened to this House talk, and I've listened to my Buddha, Honorable Souls, Lord the Minister, for taking 55 minutes to understand the problem. I cannot believe that my Minister does not understand that poverty breeds crime. Minister, we can lock up every extortionist in this country. But while in the Western Cape we're planning to lay off 2,500 teachers, we are breeding more extortionists. Minister, I've come here, I've listened to you, and you've said very little. Extortion is born out of the fact of economic exclusion. In the Western Cape, Ho and Ingalls contracted to the Western Cape government, gave a gang boss 2 million rand of our tax rands. A case was made, no arrest followed. But it's confirmed. Minister, if that was a black-owned company, they'd be in prison today. Minister, let me assure you, as long as our local businessmen are not included in the tender process, in the benefits of everything, this thing will never stop. Minister, it is apparent that this government is okay with criminals taxing the poor. It becomes problematic when they start taxing the rich. Minister, this is not your problem. It's a socio-economic problem. SAPS is at the wrong end of this. Until we include all of our people in the benefit of all of this country, this problem can only grow. I stand here today, Minister, to bring you a very, very simple message. Speak to your colleagues. Speak to your colleagues. Tell them to start including all of South Africa in the spending of all of South Africa, and this problem goes away. Minister, Wendy Kloppers was shot 16 times in Delft because criminals demanded a share of the pie. Who shoots a woman 16 times? That is not a human being. But our society, Minister, it breeds people that are less than human. I ask, Minister, I ask that you do the right thing. That while you can arrest 700 extortionists, our justice system will only sentence 5% of them. The rest of them will be released in the same communities where they fed off. It is a cycle. It is a cycle that is going nowhere. Minister, I want to take one last thing before I leave. As a colored person in the city of Cape Town, I can't work in a township. Kalicha doesn't want me. Samora doesn't want me. But this house doesn't talk about that. As a colored person, I can't be schooled in the townships alongside my black brothers. But this house doesn't talk about this. Are colored people in South Africa persona
Honourable
non
Adams.
grata? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, House Chair. I think the first point we need to make at this stage is that we have an honor of this debate being attended by our Deputy President. We can now make, after he himself listened to all of us who were debating here, we can now make firm undertakings and declarations. And the first declaration is that, Deputy President, we are one, we are speaking in one voice in this House. I noted Honorable Ndlozi and others, but him in particular, it was another way of agreeing with what we are saying here, but in his own words. And what we are saying, all of us, we are rejecting crime in South Africa and criminals. And he said it very clear, but in his own words. Now, number two, I do want to emphasize that we have the plans. And the plans is what we have and are working on. And very soon these plans will bear fruit. I don't think we should trivialize this matter and not emphasize that we're speaking in one voice and we stand one side with criminals, because they will think that some of us are on the other side and only other people are on this other side. Let's stand together. That's why we are going out to make sure that across the spheres of government, we stand together. Of course, socio-economic conditions, Honorable Adams, but you can't wait until we fix all those problems. Yes, they have to be fixed of a socio-economic nature, but not speak as if you tolerate crime. And you say, let's tolerate crime for now until we fix, because you are going to be the next victim yourself. So separate lines. Just stand on one side and allow criminals to be alone, and let's face them together. Then fix the economic challenges in the country. Next is, yes, we agree that we have to work in synergy, especially with Department of Justice, and that is what we're doing. And the first meeting of this 7th administration of the JCPS is on Friday. And we've identified loopholes that need to be tightened up, so that criminals don't get arrested and then in the afternoon they are with us. For that matter, I do want to emphasize that police know criminals, and that's why they arrest them, and they even shoot them. And we're encouraging them to go on those two. Arrest where you can, but where you have to deal with them head on, you do, and that will happen. And it is going to happen in all other provinces. But finally, some of the stories are not necessarily true, like the garage in Tata. We've gone there, interviewed those people. And they say, no, in this garage, I run short of money, it's not that, and so on. No. Police themselves have done so. They have done so. They've taken statements and they have them. But you can also go to them. But the main thing for us is that police must investigate all alleged crime, whatever it is. But you are free to bring more evidence, and they will consider it. But all in all, House Chair, we are going out to confront crime and use whatever it means to deal with them, so that we have a crime-free South Africa. And it is important that our children and all of us ensure that South Africa is free of criminality. The issues of synergies internally, yes, there are quite a number of challenges. There are rogue police. The only good thing is that there are a few. If you compare, it's just that any bad thing that one policeman does or policewoman does, it taints the image of all police. But the majority of them are doing very well, and we can trust them and work with them and rely on them for safety and protection in the country. Thank you very much.